when it comes to your top 5 sectoral holdings, we are seeing banks as one of them. But when it comes to bank, we have been constantly seeing an underperformance coming in the market, be it because of earnings, because of the MFI issues that has been there in the market. But over a longer period of time, how are you seeing banks? And among banks, where does your preference lies? Is it the private banks or the PSU banks?
We do think that the growth of India has to be supported by the banking sector, and therefore we do think that banks are a good play on India's growth sector, growth story. Again, our banking exposure is an outcome of our bottom-up stock picking. We like banks which have granular asset and liability franchise, where there are risk guardrails in place. So, I mean, they could be in the public sector or the private sector. I think what is important for us is the business models of those banks have to be robust. And it is in that context you will find a lot of the larger banks where the portfolio is positioned towards.
Right. You were also mentioning...
Valuations, of course, from a cycle-adjusted perspective also.
You were also mentioning that you're expecting the capital expenditure to pick up in the second half of this financial year. But given the fact that there have been a lot of populist measures that have been announced by the state and the central government, don't you see that there is a risk to this capital expenditure number that was projected in the budget?
I think again, if one takes perhaps a little bit longer term view on Capex expenditure and also going by the history that we've seen over the last few years, it does appear that this government is focused on ensuring that Capex growth in the country sustains. I think also the fact that the government has done significant heavy lifting as far as Capex is concerned during the immediate post-COVID years, and it's sort of unrealistic to expect the government to continue to do that heavy lifting. In fact, we've already started to see signs of private Capex pickup. FY24, FY23 as well did see a pickup in private Capex. So I think that from now on, perhaps the heavy lifting on Capex will be done by the private sector. The government will continue to stay supportive of Capex. But I do think that the phase of heavy lifting perhaps from the government is behind us, and now we will see more of the support coming from the private sector, with the government of course continuing its Capex initiatives in addition to balancing various other objectives that it may have.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.